What's up guys, welcome to my garage. Today I want to talk a little bit my build, my Zuma build. As you guys know, I had a full stage 6 air-cooled 70cc kit on it. But I decided to go with something a little bit more powerful, let's say. So I decided to use the stock engine cases, and I went with a 100cc kit. Some of you were asking why I'm doing this, you're ruining your engine. Again, the reason why I want to use the stock cases and I didn't went, for example, with a Passion or with a RC1 or something like that, it's because I really like the way the bike looks stock. I really like the way the stock wheels look. Now, moving forward to one subject that apparently people got it. I don't know, they have some weird opinions, let's say, or let's say some interesting opinions about it, which is the spacer. Too Fast sells a spacer, which I have it somewhere over there. I have the spacer. I bought the spacer. Now, the last time that I worked with one of these engines, aside from this one or anything that I done here in US, it was back probably in 2005 or a little bit more. So because of that, it's difficult for you to say, oh, for sure the engine case is exactly the same, or no, it's not. So me knowing that I need the spacer, and this, attention, this spacer is only required if you use a 47mm stroke or a 48. Otherwise you don't need the spacer, and I will explain why you need the spacer in a second. So because I have a 47 crankshaft, I ordered the spacer. When I got the spacer, I went to check the fitment on the engine case, and the actual bolt pattern does not match. Also, the very end of the spacer, it won't fit correctly. So it was like it was missing material. So I was like, it's okay. It's just a spacer. It's easy for me. It's easy to make. I just ordered some aluminum. So the spacer from Too Fast have 5mm of thickness, and that's exactly what I did. I ordered some sheet of aluminum and I made it a spacer. Now let me try to explain why we need the spacer. So this is another engine case that I have over here. Okay. So what happened is, in order to fit the crankshaft that is provided by Too Fast, the crankshaft is much wider than the stock one, meaning the crankshaft webs are much wider. Okay. With that being said, once we bore this area out, what happened is these cases, this lip or surface, whatever you want to call it, have a recession where the cases meet. When you bore this area out, that recession disappears. You only have left over pretty much like less than a millimeter of thickness. That's not enough to make the cases to seal. That's not a proper sealing surface. So what we need to do is very simple. We need to resurface all this area. But this is the tricky part. We surface all this area over here, but we don't surface this area. This area over here on the top. Okay? So basically what needs to be done is, if we're using a spacer with 5 millimeter of thickness, the same amount needs to be shaved from both engine cases. But one of the cases have threads, the other one does not have threads. This is the side that it does not have any threads in order to to bolt one to another. This side we always gonna remove more material than the other one, because you don't want to take it away all the threads that you have. So on another side we are able to take it out about, I think it's about like a millimeter 0.75 if I'm not mistaken, from my measurement, without even going into the threads. Now you shave that amount on the other side, the remaining till 5 millimeter, it's cut it over here. So this is the spacer provided by Too Fast, and I can try. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you guys, but look at it. Sorry for the mess. I will have everything more clean next time. See, so I'm in the middle of trying everything. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but the alignment for the bolts, it's way off, plus it's missing material on this end over here. So it's not possible to use this spacer. It's just gonna run into problems. It's easier just to grab and make a new spacer, and that's it. So for the guys that want to do something like this, my recommendation for you is you're gonna need to send your cases to a machine shop in order to make that cut over here, and you're gonna need to make a spacer. Also, there is a lot of reinforcement that it should be done, depending exactly what you're trying to do. If you're trying to squeeze much power as you can, and you're gonna need to start making like huge porting, yes, you're gonna need to do a lot of reinforcement on the engine case. So all of these areas over here, they are way more deep. They need to be filled. You can fill it with a really good epoxy, and it will do the job, no problem whatsoever. If you have access to a welder, you can always weld in aluminum. And I will say, if you go and weld something, weld before you do any cut. So you can actually take this, send it to someone, or do yourself, weld everything that you want to weld. Once you're done with all of that, then you can send this out in order to be resurfaced. There's another thing, at least for me, because I'm going to use a B-card. Hopefully everything works out exactly the way I want. But I had to remove a little bit of material here in order to accommodate the carb that I'm going to use. So let's see if I can show you these guys better on this area over here. So the carb that I'm going to use, it's big. It's really big. It's a 35 millimeter cane, and because of the size of the carb and the way this is pointed, it will touch over here. So I had to trim all this area over. So now going back a little bit to what I done over here, I'm using this engine case just as a test mule. So I kinda overdone some things in here. to see exactly where I till where I could push it, where I could cut more, where it will get into problems. Like once I start like grinding stuff, will open the hole, where is going to open the hole, and all of that. Figured out that um, I try to do all the machining by myself. I have a drill press, and I try to do it on my drill press. Yes, it is not the right way. I do not recommend that. It's highly inaccurate. It took me a long time to have this thing to a point where I say I'm comfortable, at least it's gonna run, it's not gonna leak, and we're not gonna have any problems. Now, do I have access to a machining? Yes, I do. I have a close friend that he owns a shop. He's fully equipped, and he already told me more than one time, whatever you need, just send me over. I'll take care of it. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna like it once you guys see it more. Exactly what I'm planning to do with the scooter, how I'm gonna mount the radiators, how I'm gonna install the water pump, and all that good stuff. I think you guys going to understand exactly what I'm trying to accomplish and what I'm trying to do. So as I was mentioning, this is just like a test mule. I'm gonna have this engine running first, at least just to see a couple things, figure out a couple things, and then I'm going to assemble the actual engine that is going in the scooter and is gonna stay on the scooter. Um, I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to clarify any doubts that you guys had. Um, if you guys have any other questions, just leave a comment, ask, you know, whatever works out for you guys. I will try to respond best ways possible.